In less than 24 hours, our trailers are going to be rolling the race bikes to the legendary Bonneville Salt Flats. We're going to introduce you to some of the most famous racers in the world, like Leslie Porterfield, Dave and Jody Perowitz, and don't forget Wink Eller with over 70 land speed records and lots of crashes. This guy's got a story to tell. And last but not least, it's me. I'm going for my 15th land speed record, and I hope to get many more. There's several places that people land speed race. Maxton up in Maine, these are on airport runways. You're talking on asphalt. And when they measure the speed, it's not a measured mile like Bonneville. On Bonneville, when you're on that salt and the heat's coming off it and the moisture levels, is it sticking to your wheels or is it cakey and hard, which makes you go faster? What are the winds like? And when you go into the mile means a sustained mile. You enter the mile, and when you go out the other end, they average your speed throughout the mile. That's where Bonneville gets them. That's where Bonneville's different, and that's what creates the legendary Bonneville Challenge. Many racers that come to Bonneville for the first time have a perception of what they think they're going to do. They've teched their bike. They've put it on dyno machines. They know what their horsepower is. They know what their torque is. And the guy gives them a printout and says, well, based on this, you're going to run this fast. Well, guess what? The salts of Bonneville await them. And Dave and Jody are going after the 200-mile-an-hour mark, a mark that I've been trying to achieve for 7 years and I've yet to accomplish. Let's have a sit down with Dave and Jody and see what they're thinking.
Jody's been really bugging me for the last 2-3 years to go to Bonneville. Dad, we got to build a bike and go to Bonneville, you know? And, you know, with the industry the way it is and everything, you know, I said, well, we can't this year, you know, but sometime we will. And so for Christmas, she gave me a ticket to Bonneville, right? So I guess that kind of sealed the deal that we have to start thinking about being serious. So I told Jody, I said, the V-Twin show will be the deciding factor whether we're going to build a bike and go to Bonneville. Because it's very expensive, as you know, to do this, more than you could ever imagine. And so we went to V-Twin show, and the economy and the industry is, man, people aren't giving shit away anymore, you know, it's tough. And so I approached a half a dozen major manufacturers that are all friends of mine and told them that what we were going to do, and asked if you'd be interested in being involved. And every one of them said, count me in, what do you need?
Wow.
I called Alan Alvarez, and because we wanted to run a Daytona Twin Tech, which is very, very hard to tune on a blown injected motor. And before I even got into it with Alan, he said, take down this number, this is the guy you need. So the guy's name was Dan Thayer. He's up in Buffalo, New York. Never met the guy. R&R was friends. R&R told me the same thing, man. If you can get this guy to program your ignition, you will be great. So I called Dan. Dan said, Sure, I'm on board. I asked him, you want to be on board? You want to be part of the team? You want to go to Bonneville with us? He says, sure, I'd love to. So Dan sent us a shopping list of things he wanted done to the motor. And it was a lot of stuff, and a lot of fabrication, and we did every single thing Dan wanted to a T. We had to make a new plenum, and just lots and lots of things we had to do. And so we had missed Maxton, but we couldn't miss Loring. It was very important. We finished the bike at 4 a.m. on a Thursday morning. Now, we had been working, 4 of us, for 5-6 days straight, 14 hours a day to put the bike together. And this is in the rough, no paint on it.
I wasn't nervous at all. I just was more like I had so much to think about and what I had to do, and focused on it, that when I got to the line, I was like, double checking everything, and okay, got to do this, and then next thing you know, the guy's like, okay, you can go, and I just went and just looked straight ahead and just gave it as much throttle as I could and went. And I mean, the bike was so solid, and just went straight ahead, and I didn't feel the wind at all. And that last pass, actually, there was a bunch of guys on Jap bikes that they wouldn't race anymore because the crosswinds was so bad. And I mean, I was probably leaning a little bit, but my bike is just so heavy and solid. I knew I was going fast. The pass before that, I did 162, and I knew it was either right around there or a little bit faster, and I knew like my shifting was good. I brought it up to the right RPMs, like I was counting the gears. I went through it all in my head, and when I got to the end of the track, it was a good pass. Regardless of what my speed was, it was a good pass. So Bonneville, we're gonna go 200, and I'm gonna be the first female to do it on an American motorcycle.
American V-twin.
Talking to Scooter Grubbs. This is the photographer of Bonneville, and the big conversation this year is Leslie Porterfield is a big topic, but also we're talking about Dave and Jody Perowitz, first timers out here. They've got a beast of a bike, but they've never taken it on salt, and they've never been with a full body. What's your prediction?
What'd she do on the asphalt?
167 without the body. She's never ridden a body partial streamline bike.
$155 on the first pass.
And what's the fastest pass for the meet for her?
175.
You heard it. First pass, $155. Fastest time, 175. And guess what? You're the second person that hit the 175 mark.
Really?
And the first guy's really smart.
Where's that leave me?
That means you're smart. You're parallel to him.
Perowitz, and I am a land speed racer.
For 10 years in the Broken Spoke, I had a little Indian racer that was built to go to Bonneville, and it was nothing but a prop for the Broken Spoke Saloon and Museum. When I turned 50 years old, I reached to my buddy Dave, who founded the Broken Spoke and a great wrench on Indians. I said, look me in the eye, shake my hand, and let's go to Bonneville. That's 8 years ago. And since then, that little Indian has set more records than I can tell you. We ran 140 miles an hour in that little Chief, which makes it the fastest Indian Chief in the open class on the planet Earth. It's been an amazing journey, but naturally, with the Chief, that's not fast enough for me anymore. I got to go faster. So I am constantly trying to obtain that 200-mile-an-hour mark. When it comes to racing, you're as strong as your weakest link. And me being the pilot and the rider, my job is to relay to the mechanics what that bike is doing so they can guesstimate how to set it up for the next pass to go faster. Boy, without those guys, and I mean you've got somebody might even hold an umbrella over you to keep you from baking in that sun, to guys like Jeff and Wink that are wrenching on that thing and tweaking it, maybe re-gearing it, rejetting it. Without those guys, I wouldn't be sitting on these 14 land speed records. They're amazing. And let me tell you, it gets real scary out there when you're over 150, 160, 70, 80, and you get into the 190s. You can even take flight. You can go in the air if your aerodynamics aren't right. And 2 years ago, I had the accident. I hit the timer at over 178 miles an hour. But in less than 24 hours, I'm rolling to Bonneville, and you're gonna see, well, I hit 200 miles an hour. I'm excited. This is the first day of Bubs, and we got a great family around us, and everybody's getting ready to go to Tech, and it's exciting. We're antsy, we're excited. It's good stuff. I've been inspected, I passed, let's go get a record.
Just entering the measured mile on the mountain course. We have bike 4169. This is Jay Ellens. Moving past the towers here.
The only thing that I can compare it to is, you know, how fast I've been on a drag bike.
Yeah.
But the difference is a drag bike is, you know, 6.5 seconds on a drag bike at 218. We're talking,
Sustained mile.
yeah,
Or getting into the mile.
yeah, 2.3 minutes. You know, there is a big difference, and you know, it does. It takes a lot of strength to hang on, but that's one of the things in the design of this bike that I designed that into the bike too, to where my legs lock in, and that's why when we tried to run at Speed Week, it hurt me so bad that it actually brought tears to my eyes, because where the hole is in my leg, I had my leg pinned to the frame, and it was actually vibrating because I was clinched to it like a pair of vice grips. And that's what it takes to hang on this bike. You can't just sit up on it like a street bike and just go down the salt. You gotta vice grip your body to it, you know. And with that, you got to be careful that you're not holding on too hard with your arms and being too stiff, because if it gets into a wobble, you got to be able to get it out of it, you know. And all those thoughts are going through my head, and you know, that's why I've made the foot pegs fully adjustable, and I've adjusted them 3 different times since I've been here, you know. And I make a pass, and it's all an experiment out here, and it's, you know, in a work in progress, and you know, I'm enjoying every minute of it, and all I can say is I hope that the people that are coming on board and helping Jay and I with our dreams, I hope that they've got the same stamina that we've got, and keep the trust in us, because just like Jay has said multiple times, the bike that he's riding has a production crate motor with Rob Schaff heads, and Jeff Lang just putting the engine together, and but not any trick. There's not any NASA program going on here. It's what you can buy from S&S. It's what you can buy from Baker. It's what you can buy from Barnett. It's parts that are available over the counter. Make it to the other end. If I make it to the other end, then we can do it again.
people are very passionate about their profession, I really believe they never shut it off. You're constantly chasing your tail and working on the details. When I go out to the Bonneville Salt Flats and my bike is in 6th gear and I'm at 185 plus, trust me, I'm not thinking but about one thing. How close am I to 200? Is my tack going to get up to 7 grand? And I'll tell you, once you feel that, it's a bug. You're hooked. Only thing exists is you, the bike, and the salt. Bonneville.